Hey, welcome to the classroom. It's so good to have you back. This is where we discuss no code, productivity, marketing, and everything that will enable you to scale your business, your no code business online. So, this is me, Paul No Code, and I'm super happy to be here. Today, I want to discuss how to find a domain name for your startup. So how do you find a domain name for your startup? It can be really daunting. With the billions and billions of people in the world right now, finding domain names for yourself can be really hard. Trust me, there are people starting businesses every blessed day, and with no code, it is way easy now to start up your app, to build your app, mobile applications, games, and anything you want to build for yourself, for your community. And people are building massive startups every day. So you can always find a name for your startup if you follow these principles that I'm going to teach you. First, why do you need a domain? Why not just chill on WhatsApp or on Instagram or on Twitter, anywhere? You can see all these websites, all these businesses I just called, they all have a domain. Twitter.com, it's a domain. Zoom.ux is a domain. Instagram.com, Facebook.com, they all have domain. And you wonder why? Because it's a way to claim your own presence on the internet. Every website and every business needs a domain these days. Everybody needs a domain. You need to find a way that people can locate you online. Just think of it. Your domain is your own personal real estate on the internet. If you have a Facebook page, it's your own shared real estate, right? It's like you're renting over there. If you have a Twitter page, it's a shared real estate. It's not your own apartment on the internet, but a domain is yours and yours for a very long time. So where do you find one? The best place to find a domain is your name, your startup name. Trust me, it is so easy. If you have a startup name and you want to turn it into a domain, there's a very high chance that no one will be using your own startup name anywhere on the internet, because it's from your brain. You got it from your brain, and you got it from your subconscious. Like, it's something that God just put right into your mind, and you'll be like, hey, I'm going to start this business and I'm going to call it this particular name. For example, my domain name is Paul No Code, and I could tell you for the truth, I did not even have to struggle with that domain. I just went to the internet, I checked it out. The name of my business is Paul No Code, and the domain Paul No Code was available. There's a very high chance that you're going to get lucky if you decide to use your business name as your domain name. Another way to do this is to use something very abstract. Like, you've gone to the mountains in Japan, you've gone to somewhere in the Sahara Desert in Africa, you've gone to, Oceania, anywhere you've gone to, you can just make it very abstract. But the thing about abstract names is that it takes a whole lot of money for you to brand, because if you are a fast food and then you're naming your fast food Django, it might be a bit difficult for people to connect Django and your fast food. So it's gonna take a whole lot of money for you to brand. But if your name is Flexi Fast Food, there's a very high chance that you do not need so much money to brand your fast food or your new business. So there are a few things that you must consider when choosing a domain name. Number one, it must be pronounceable. It must be pronounceable. People must be able to pronounce it at one go, not think of it, because your domain name is going to be transferred from mouth to mouth to mouth to mouth. That's how people get to know about big brands or growing brands, because people talk about it. So when people talk about your brand, they should be able to pronounce it. For example, Alibaba. Another example is Uber. Another example is Jumia. Another example is AliExpress, Google, Facebook, Twitter. It's so easy for people to pronounce. So make sure people are able to pronounce your domain name. Don't do something like shop247wxy00.com. It doesn't really make sense, I know, but those are things you don't want to stress your customers before they buy from you. Number two, it must be very easy to spell. Don't use words that people cannot spell immediately. At least for a 6-year-old, every 6-year-old should be able to spell your domain name. Don't use words that have some mnemonics, words like N, M, N, then your domain name. Don't use words like that. Use words that it's very easy to spell, that once you pronounce it, you can spell it. For example, Uber. You can easily pronounce Uber. Ali, you can easily pronounce it. Google, you can easily pronounce it, and you can easily spell it. Number three, the shorter, the better. Find short names. People have a lot of things to do. Trust me, they have a lot of things to do other than trying to cram your long domain name, right? Dictionaryofamerica.com. Cool. Yeah, it's relatable because it has America in it, but it's not going to be relatable if you have something else in it. So find very short name that you can use for your business. The shorter, the better. And number 4, this is super cool if you're running some sort of a service business, an e-commerce business. This is really cool. Your website should do what it says if that's the way you've chose your name. For example, flexlogistics.com. It means you're running a flexible logistics company. Quickfix.com. You fix everything very quickly. So people are going to attach a use to your particular domain name if that's the way you choose to name it. And make sure that you do what your website say you do, your domain name says you do. Else people are going to leave bad reviews online and you're not going to like your business in a few months or a few years to come. Number 5, make sure that your domain uses a mainstream extension. I know there are lots of domains these days like .fun, .me, .u, .go, .anything, .xyz, .w, .meet, .party. But you see, those extensions are not mainstream yet, and people can't take you very unserious if you decide to use any of those domains for your business. So it's good that you stick with your country domain. For example, I'm in Nigeria currently, and my country domain is .ng. So if I want to open a pronounceable in my country, I would say pronounceable.ng, and that makes sense. The general one is to use a .com. I could say pronounceable.com. That's what I use currently. You can do the same thing. So if you live in a foreign country or you live in your country currently, you can use your country domain. Or another exciting domain that we use here is .africa, because I'm from Africa, proudly African, and so we use .africa. So I could say pornoco.african. I could get any domain name and say that domain .africa. One of my previous business was Property Assist, a property company, and that was propertyassist.africa. And also you can also use other mainstream extension like .io, especially if you're running something that has to do with tech, right? And AI is always, AI is everywhere, so you can find .ai domain and use it. People trust it, don't worry. So yeah, some cool domain that I know. There is Dropbox.com, 247transport.com. These are cool. Facebook.com, pornoco.com. That's my domain. Marketingbay.com, HubSpot.com. So you can see these domains are clean, straight to the point, and they're pretty easy. So where do you buy some domain, or where do you get some domain inspirations? You have some cool places. NameMash, you get domain inspiration right there. Namecheap, you get domain inspiration right there. Domain Wheel, yeah, that's a place for inspiration. Shopify, that's a place for inspiration, and that's a place where you can buy stuff too. Shopify will majorly, put you on the part of getting a domain for your e-commerce store, but you can definitely see what other persons are doing, see how they are naming their business, and then you can go ahead and name your own business yourself. So that's it. It's Paul Nocode. Thank you so much for joining me today on The Classroom. I'm so glad that you're here. And don't forget, we're back. Don't forget to subscribe so you can always get my video whenever I post one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again. Bye.